Hi, welcome back. I'm Grayson.
I'm Caleb.
I'm Dominic.
And I'm Isaiah, and this is Fireside Friday Nights.
Welcome back to Fireside Friday Nights. So recently we were talking with some people in person about our podcast, and they asked us what our goal was with our podcast and suggested that we make an episode about why we're doing what we're doing. But before we get into it, make sure that you like the episode, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, and wherever you get your podcasts, and turn on notifications. All right, guys, how'd it start? Because I wasn't there when you guys had the original idea.
Okay, so we can go back to when we actually had the original idea, or we can go back to us growing up, going to the same church, and
I think
all
that's
the
where
other,
it needs to start.
the other shenanigans that we've performed.
All right, so we're going way back.
We're going way back. So, guys, when a mom and a dad love each other very much.
No.
Okay,
Not
so
that far back, not that far back.
Okay.
Hold on.
I met Caleb before I met Dominic. So what? How long ago would it have been? I was 6, you were 5, probably. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But I met you, and we hit it off. But you knew Dominic before, just through homeschooling and stuff, because that's where we all started.
Right.
And then we started You went to the same church as Dominic, and then I started going there. I don't know when that would have been. I would have been 8 or something. I don't even. No, actually 7. I have no idea dates, but.
That's really young. Jeez.
But what would happen after that? We went to church and we were friends. And honestly, thought Dominic was kind of weird. And
But we kind of all were.
I
so.
mean,
I do
as
be like that.
as 7-year-old kids, we all yeah, we're kind of weird. But what else would have happened?
Well, we went to camp, of course, for
Ooh, yeah.
a few years.
I went to camp with you only right away.
Yeah.
And then Dominic, we came later. And then Dominic's brother Tyler, who's been on our episodes before, he goes to our church as well. So I'd say move up to when we were about 12.
I really don't know what age it was.
Honestly, I think that's where it started. It was 10, 12, somewhere around there.
Okay, what was the first time when we had the idea for the movie we were going to write?
Yeah.
I mean, Caleb and I were going to write it, but we were like, we can film this movie. We got this.
I think it was your grandfather had a treasure of some sort, and
Yeah,
It
the
was
basic. Let's see, my grandfather had a gem or something that had a map printed on it.
Yeah.
And it got brought to the museum when it shouldn't have. But then Tyler found this gem that looked like it, and we were going to switch it out in the museum. And we all had special skills and stuff. And then our sisters had to get roped in because we had to be nice. And all right, so
Wow.
what happened after that? We had the whole basis of the movie. We started actually refining it. This was about COVID probably happened, and then that's why we were always home because we would video chat each other.
No, it was before COVID. We were working on it before COVID.
Oh yeah, and then I guess I've made escape rooms and murder mystery stuff.
I remember that.
I had just made creative
Well,
stuff.
you wrote stuff for church and stuff
Yeah,
too.
and we always were just making scripts. Well, I mean, just all of us were kind of just hanging out as kids and making. We made a giant fort out of wood in trees
oh yeah, the
and stuff.
trees by the church.
We were just always doing random stuff, and then whatever would satisfy our need for adventure that week, that's what we would do.
Yeah.
Right.
And then let's see what happened after that.
I know we helped out on First Sundays.
Well, I guess
when we did
we had written our movie, and we were trying to cast it or figure out who would be, and then
And then I came in.
oh yeah, I guess.
So I'm by far the newest to this friend group.
I mean, yeah, you didn't go to our church for
a good
however long,
a good few years.
but see, you started coming to our church,
Yeah.
and then we kind of dropped the movie thing. We had it.
Yeah, when Isaiah showed up, because his dad's our pastor, because we didn't have a pastor at that time. We had an interim pastor for a year, and so we were looking for a pastor, and then Isaiah's
got
family
one.
showed up. They became our pastor, and for the first month, because that was when we were still interested in the movie, and we talked about it, and then we wrote a bunch of lines that Isaiah would have, and then we just forgot about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I I think COVID must have happened. That kind of actually would shut
Yeah.
it down. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, COVID was before I came, so
it was before.
Really?
yeah, because COVID was 2019, 2020.
Oh, so I have no idea. Well,
I've
because we
been
were
here
talking
for
about it when he
3
showed
years.
up.
Yeah.
But then let's see what was our next adventure that we did. I guess we started high school, or I
and
did.
then we
Dominic
did like we wanted to be like a band.
Oh,
yeah, that
I
was
guess
that was a big
we
part.
have our band that we started because
That we've done nothing with.
we've done nothing with, but
yeah,
Oh,
absolutely
actually,
nothing.
We played for church 1 week.
yeah, just us guys played for church.
Hey,
correct?
and we introduced a
Tyler-
new song.
Tyler sang. See, and then we performed at
Camp?
We performed Imagine
Pretty-
Dragons.
Oh yeah.
Pretty
With our
pretty
whole
lit
band.
song.
And
Names click. Follow us.
hey, don't never talk about the name of the band. That band
That
is
is
good, long
changing.
gone.
We are
Long
changing
gone.
that. Click is
People
no
made
longer.
fun of us because of
Well,
our name, but I mean, we haven't really done anything with our band, and what do we really have in the plans to do with it besides which we have our podcast? Honestly, we could record a song.
yeah. Well, my dad has suggested that we write a song. So I
What?
mean, we can kind of throw that.
I was
idea out
thinking
there.
cover artist, bud.
Yeah, I know.
Tell your dad he needs to find some more experienced people. I mean,
Yeah.
Bro,
I do percussion, piano, guitar. I sing.
Yeah. And I do all those too, actually. So we
I
could
mean-
actually pull it off. But
We could just do like,
I do nothing.
but you run the little sliders and knobs
That's
and
true.
twisty
That's true.
things
yeah,
and
the
make us
things
louder
that
and
we
quieter.
can't do.
Make us louder and quieter. Dominic's got that on locks.
Yeah.
And then we made our band, and see how did the podcast actually start? Let's discuss that.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
So
I mean, okay, Caleb, I've brought up to you many times about the pod or like doing something like that. Like making
I know.
a
We've
podcast.
always talked about doing
Yeah,
something, but
I can remember even after, like, probably a year after I came, Grayson like jokingly brought up a topic of us starting a podcast, and it was like this. I feel like even when you like more seriously brought it up, it was still felt more like, oh yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, that won't happen when
I
you
mean-
first think about it, and then
Yeah, for me, my whole entire goal is not. I mean, it's not like my goal to be famous, but it would be so cool. Like, I love to act and I love to sing and do like music stuff. I would love to do anything with like entertainment or like online stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
And like, okay, if we ever got big somehow, I think that'd be so cool. I mean, I don't know if this is something necessarily to do forever, but I want to be associated with like media stuff in the future. That's kind of like
Yeah.
what I want to do for work.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see our podcast stopping anytime soon.
it will be a challenge, especially when a bunch of us are going to go off to college, probably different colleges. And so we don't know how it's going to work. It might be like Zoom calls. It might be meeting on weekends. We don't know.
Hey, we don't need to worry about it. That's like in a year and
Yeah,
a half. We
a
don't
year
have
and a
to
half.
talk about that.
Right.
But yeah, I think how it started was it was just because we naturally, our church, what we do is we have small group, which is on every Friday, and we go over to small group and things like that. And we started talking, like just with our friend groups, we started talking about how's our day going, things like that. It's kind of like what we're doing now, even. And let's see. Yeah, you jokingly said like, why don't we just start a podcast? I mean, like,
We're already having the discussion.
Yeah.
All we need to do is
like,
record them now.
Well, yeah,
Right.
Grayson was like, yeah, like we basically had an episode with the discussion we were talking about then. I think that we were like talking about proofs or why God's not dead that episode. That
were.
day. It was a lit conversation.
Yeah.
And like,
What did
and,
I stayed at your house till 10?
bro, that was,
We left and came back because it was so good.
it was unbelievable.
I mean, we've talked about. I think that's what it was. It was where we were all meeting that night. Caleb wasn't there for some reason.
Well, I was there, but I left because my family left.
Yeah, you must have went home. And then
And
we all
were-
talked about. We were
yeah, it was like 10, 11 o'clock at
we just
night.
had a discussion, and then we're like, all we need to do is record this, and then. So I guess our mission, like why we are what we are, then we were like teenage guys who are Christians in today's society. What do we have to say that people are going to listen to?
Yeah.
Or no, do we have things to say that people are going to listen to more? I think that's the other question.
Yeah.
And I feel like we bring different sides to the table. I mean, as all four of us and as a podcast as a whole.
Yeah.
Than other media outlets or discussion people. Like, I guess we don't have any formal training, no formal experience. This is all
No,
just stuff
no,
we've learned
this
through
is-
our lives.
this
So
is-
we're not saying we're correct, but
No.
pretty
No.
close. I'm kidding.
Wow.
And of course, our overall goal is to always further the kingdom of God, right? So
Yeah.
we're Christians. That's our overall goal. If you don't know that, and you
Read
don't
the
like
Bible.
it, yeah.
Honestly. And then we'd always just like show each other like random videos and stuff and like share things we heard through the week, learned through the week, stuff like that. It was just like it was our emotional support group, honestly. That's pretty much what it was.
Yeah, and now we're recording our emotional support group.
That's what we need to change it to. Fireside Friday support groups.
Wow. I don't think that's going to stick. Well, there you go. A somewhat rudimentary story of how we got from where we were to where we are to where we want to be. And while we did have more of a discussion later in this episode, I decided to cut it out because it didn't really pertain to the theme of the episode. It might come back later. We might upload it. I don't know. So even though we have had some shorter videos, we are planning some longer ones. So stay tuned and we'll see you in the next episode.